Hi guys, my name is Dan and I'm a video strategist and a video first marketer. That means I help business owners get more leads and sales using the power of video. This is my podcast, the Video Marketing Toolkit. On the podcast, I speak to other business owners and marketing experts and understand their story. We talk about what they're up to, where they started, and what tips and tricks they learned along the way. This episode is a two-parter. I spoke to 6 business owners back to back in a series of mini podcasts. And these business owners and individuals cover a whole range of industries, from recruitment to IT, cybersecurity, and even a charity. It was really fun making this episode and speaking to so many individuals, so I really hope that you enjoy watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. In this episode, which is episode 2, I spoke with Emma, who works on the commercial side of the charity to bring in extra funding, Kieran, who owns his own security company, and Rob, who owns his own cybersecurity company. Hi, how you doing? Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do?
So I'm Emma Shabte-White. I work for the Braunstone Foundation, who are a charity in Leicester. Have worked for over 17 years. I am currently the trade manager for the organisation. So I look after all our commercial property, which is really about selling the best service and product we can to our in our business centres and in some of our other properties to make money to gift back to our charity to spend on other things.
Brilliant.
More worthy things.
So you're kind of like the business arm of a charity almost.
Yes, we're the commercial
that brings in
arm.
the funding.
Absolutely, yeah.
Perfect. And what are some of the kind of services that you guys sell in the business arm?
Oh wow, so we have a business centre, which is the main hub of what we do, just the one based here off Hinkley Road, which has 57 varying size serviced offices. So within that, we can provide you with as much or as little as you like, really, from full broadband, telephones, administrative, anything you need.
You can
all the cleaning services, anything you need if you want to be fully looked after. Or you can just hire a room from us on a monthly basis with basic broadband and telephone support.
Perfect.
And you can do everything else yourself. No expectation that you take our services, but they're there if you want them. And then within that centre, we've got meeting rooms, small, large, quite big conference size, where both internal and external customers can come and use them. Open 7 till 10, Monday to Friday, and then all day Saturday. So tend to get a real variety of people.
Loads of people.
Yeah, business, more internals in the day, in and out. And then we do some bigger stuff in the evening. We do quite a lot of counselling sessions, local community counselling, bits and bobs. So on top of that, we have a co-working club. So we've got an open space where if you've not got an office and you're in the area and you fancy being a bit of a break from working from home, which everybody does.
100%. Sometimes sitting in that room is a little bit too much.
Oh, yeah. We will set you up at the desk, refreshments all day, and you can come and use us for a ridiculously stupid price of, I think it's £10 a day or something. Perfect.
Are you a bit of like a networking guru then?
No, I'm a terrible networker. I've been in this. My background was commercial, and then I moved into the charity after I'd had my daughter, and I came out of main commercial companies. Wanted to do something to give back a bit. So moved into charity side of things and was employability support and training actually in the charitable side in the local area, helping people back into work. I ran a team doing that, and then government's change and a lot of that funding went central, so needed somebody to pick up the commercial side, and I had the background. So that's where I ended up in 2017. So I've been here since 2017. So you do build a network.
Yeah, definitely. Especially the people in the businesses that are here.
Absolutely.
People that come and go. Maybe not your forte though, would you say? Is that not like your main skill set, networking?
I'm a really good salesperson, but I'm not the best marketer.
Okay.
And I know that sounds really weird, but
no, not at all.
if you put something in front of me and I understand it and I buy into it, I can sell it. One-to-one, face-to-face, happy to sell it. I'm no good at especially with everything that's moved quite digital. It's not something, I'm much more of an operator than a strategizer. I've learned over the last couple of years. Lots of ideas, but how to implement them on. Unless it's an operational unless it's operational implementation, I get a bit lost. And some of that I think is my phone. I've got ADHD, as you can probably tell my hands are doing. And I struggle to finish things. So if I've had a thought, I'll write it down, and all of a sudden I'm distracted to do another one.
You're doing about 10 other things as well. I feel that. I genuinely feel that as well. I'll start a task, but most of the time I'll just get bored of it, and I'm just like, I wish I could do anything else, and then I'll just do something else, and then it's like it just gets lost.
The joy of this job is that there is everything. So it's all the facilities management, all the health and safety, all the billing for finance, all the bad debt chasing, all the talking to people, all the selling of everything.
There's so much to do.
You can come in and have you can have a day that you want to have most of the time. So today I've been doing the billing for the rest of the month because we've got to hit the 31st of January, and I need to get the billing sorted for going into next month. But next week I'll be on something to do with health and safety, and then I'll be on to contract management. So you
have to wear a lot of hats.
lots of hats. Yeah, but we do it. The one thing I didn't say that we do, which is quite a big part of our business, is we run what are called virtual agreements. So almost like virtual tenancies. Yeah. So we've got about 100 virtual tenancies here in a business box, nationwide and local, who don't have an office here but trade from here as a company, and we manage their post and their phone calls. So it gives people that are perhaps starting out a base. They have the infrastructure of a business without the outlay of all the staffing costs.
It could be expensive to obviously do that on your own.
Absolutely.
But also, as you're an individual working here, not only are you managing the people that are actually here, you've also got these 100+ other people that you've got to help along their way as well. So I guess in a way, because I bet some people that are here do treat it as a little bit of a community, and you're almost kind of like helping to keep that community to come together a little bit.
That's our key word. That's one of the things that I would love to say is our unique selling point here. It is about community and buying in, and you can walk in and out of the building, but for me, I expect, the team that work under me, they're a great reception team, and they know everybody by name, and they know a little bit, if they can, about everybody, and they're warm and they're interested. And especially when you're a small business starting out, or, you're working Monday to Friday on your own, to have somebody else that feels part of, even though they don't work with you and they're not in your company, to walk past someone in the corridor, to say hi, to ask them something.
It means
even
a lot.
Small, it's really important. And that's why as a business centre, if we're open, we're staffed. We don't allow anyone
not like an unstaffed
skeleton
network.
We have open and closed times, but whilst we're open, we're staffed. So if anyone, there's always somebody here.
And I think that is good, because it's like I said, so many business owners, when they're working at home as well, it can become quite lonely, and especially even if you're in an office, it can become quite lonely because no one can understand. Really? So being able to talk to other people who are in the same position, probably even growing at a similar rate as well, all of a sudden you've got someone to talk to all the time, someone who's actually there, and I think that's really valuable, isn't it?
It's invaluable. Some of the companies I've seen that have grown from the small, thinking about starting out as a second kind of, let me put my, dabble my feet in the water, are now huge, much bigger than ever, needing to be in this space, and they're out there, and I see them at events and things, and you've helped a little bit in
it's
that
kind of like
journey.
they've fled the nest, haven't they? They've gone to go on and do their
and there's a couple,
things.
There's a couple in particular, I suppose, I've seen through my journey that are very memorable, that stick with you. Some come and go, and that's exactly as it should be. But others, you see a full journey, and you see like a full flourish.
And I remember them, and it's like, they're doing this and
a
that.
whole sector. A whole, what's the word? Let me start that again. Yeah, you see from start and how they develop and how then they bring more people in, and then they're telling people how to do, that it's thriving. Yeah, I do tend to stick as a bit of a linchpin. I do tend to know who to point who at.
Which is good. I think
knowledge.
it builds onto that family, that community atmosphere of like just pulling things together, connecting people in the right places. Oh, what's that? You need that doing? I know exactly who can help you out. Someone else in the community.
And absolutely. And as a charity, it has to be community.
Yeah.
We're not doing it. We're doing it to make a profit, to help all of our charitable aims, which are things like food share and befriending and all the services we provide that aren't funded elsewhere and we can't get funding for. But we're not that's what we're doing it for, but we're also doing it with that community-minded spirit. The ethos of why we're here is to help. I always use the helping you to help yourself. It's always been the mantra I've used since I've worked for this business. And that's for me what it's about. It's competitive, but we can all find a way. You can find a way through without treading on each other's toes. And actually, it's better for both.
So it sounds like, obviously, having such a big community to look after, you've learned probably a lot of skills in your time here.
Yeah.
So
I've learned how to get out of many a tight corner, trust me, yeah.
So we've got from probably tight corners to people demanding certain things.
Of course.
And you mentioned that you did a lot of commercial before, but is there any key skills from this position that you say you've learned along the way?
Being organised, being flexible, not being afraid to try things and let them not work and fail.
Yeah.
And then tweak and try again. And that's because I've got the freedom to do that, and which is huge coming from quite a structured commercial background. Having that ability to make your own decisions, it takes quite a long time to get into the practice of and taking responsibility for that. But being organised is key, and being honest.
Yeah.
I've learnt that if you can't do something or fix it, let the person know that's asking.
Yeah.
Don't leave it. Don't delay it. Don't wait. Be honest. Up front, that's not realistic. And
it's a smaller problem then, isn't it? Often when it's left, it gets bigger and bigger.
There's
and
no
it's
time
built
for
up
it to
something.
fester.
Yeah.
And that's what I say to my team. You can make a mistake, but you can't be wrong. We can put it right. Anything's put rightable, but be honest and talk.
Because as well, people can hold resent otherwise unless they're talking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you can't do something and they've asked you to do it in a week, but you don't reply back, or the team don't reply back, and they've not heard anything, so they get frustrated. So then they're chasing you, and then you feel I've done it over many years ago.
You've been there, you've done that.
Chase you, and then the problem becomes this massive snowball. And actually, all you needed to do was ask the right person the right question, or Google the right thing. But and actually, what you need to say is, sometimes I'll absolutely look at that. I'm not sure that's realistic. I'll get back to you. I'll be as honest. I can't find the answer, but I think someone can.
Yeah.
No one knows everything.
It's
but
just
someone knows someone generally that knows something.
Finding that solution that someone
and being
knows.
humble to it, and knowing you don't know everything, and knowing there are better people out there to help.
Yeah.
So I think organised, honest. Organised, honest, friendly.
And they're all key
not
points.
Go too crazy.
And I imagine
and have fun with it,
because there's definitely some crazy characters.
Oh my goodness! And have fun. I don't think you can work anywhere where you shouldn't be having fun. You've got to enjoy what you do, and if you or at least enjoy the people that are around with you, because you're here more than you're at home. So I think I've learnt those mantras. I would like to think are important to.
They're the key aspects.
Yeah, and they do slip. Trust me. Sometimes.
Nobody's perfect.
No, they do slip, but I think they're the important ones to me.
Definitely. And so just wrapping it up towards the end,
Yeah.
if there is one sort of piece of advice that you've learned speaking to so many business owners, speak from what you've learned through the commercial side and with the charity, what is one piece of advice you would give to somebody who's just starting out in business today?
I would ask them to what I've learned in business is that people have amazing ideas and amazing things they want to achieve, but they don't necessarily know how to get there. And they don't necessarily feel that they can ask. So for me, it's about being honest and understanding and trying to understand your skills. And again, ask for help from people that have done it or can point you in the right direction. There is nothing wrong with that. It's not your big secret. Thousands of people have attempted to start a business. Your product may be different, but the principles on business and the things you have to do are the same. So never be afraid to ask the question. The worst that can happen is someone won't help you and you'll find somebody else to do it, and they'll be the wrong person if they don't help.
You've just got to ask. It's just one question away.
Ask. It's you don't need to decide that day that you are going to be this particular business, and then when you wake up in the morning, you know exactly how to do it. And it will take weeks, months, years to learn certain skills, and there'll be plenty of people around you that you could ask along the way. So you don't need to wake up and know it straight away.
Just about finding those individuals.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, I'm going to open administrative support service. But actually, I don't need to know how to do a payroll. I don't know how to do a health and safety. I don't know how to do a tax return. I don't know how to find customers. But actually, there are people out there that, you don't even have to pay for in terms of networks and friends, and talk about it, pick it up, find the right people that you feel comfortable asking and you feel their advice is right for you.
And let the experts help you.
Absolutely.
Let them do what they're good at.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you so much for chatting with me. I hope it wasn't too scary.
No, it wasn't scary
and
at all.
That you've enjoyed the experience. If there's any final words you'd like to put out there to the audience before we wrap things up?
Just if you have an idea and it's burning in the back of your head, explore it. Because I've seen so many businesses come through here with a little seed. People that I would never have expected to succeed in business, wouldn't look at people that perhaps I thought would want and successfully run a business, but absolutely fly. So never ever doubt the little seed in your head that you want to move forward with. If you can, if you can do it, go for it. Because the worst that can happen is that it doesn't work and you go to plan B.
You go back
but there's always a plan B or a C. So you can always go back to what you know.
Brilliant.
So give it a go.
I think that was a lovely point to end on. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So my name's Kieran Lake and my company's Octagon Risk Management.
Brilliant. And what do you do at Octagon?
We are a security service provider. We provide personnel to all kinds of different businesses, from construction to corporate offices like here at Business Box, logistics and warehousing, right through to events, everything
Brilliant.
that falls under that security umbrella.
So you've got like a whole broad of like different industries and services that you guys work with.
Absolutely, yeah.
Whereabouts are you based?
So we are based here at Business Box, but we cover the UK, and we also sometimes do international work as well.
Oh, brilliant. So are you the business owner yourself?
I am, yeah. So I'm the managing director. I set this up. Oh, it's about over 6 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
But I've been in the industry 17, 18 years now.
What was your first job in the industry 17, 18 years ago? Do you remember?
Yeah, I do, yeah. So actually the reason what got me into the security industry, I actually was into website design and development.
Oh, okay.
Very different from security.
Yeah,
very different. Yeah. So, but I found that actually wasn't for me. And at the time I had commitments, things that I needed to pay for. And so I come out of the web design and development sort of industry, digital, and at the time my family was running a security business, so I joined the family's business and started as a security officer at a shopping centre nearby.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So you started, obviously that was like right back then, started like on the ground, as you know,
Absolutely,
boots on the
yeah.
ground,
Yep.
and then now you've moved up managing your own company. Do you still get involved much in sort of the actual, like the work side of things, or is it more purely management at your level now?
It depends on what it is. Some of the specialist sort of security that we do, for example, like close protection, would be myself. I'm quite heavily involved in that side of things. We're regulated by the Home Office. It's a different license. There's not many people that are licensed in the UK to do that kind of work.
Yeah.
In comparison to the other licenses anyway. But sort of your man guarding, security guards on construction sites, not really. But if there's an occasion that I need to get out there for whatever reason and the operations team can't help me, then I'll be out there and I'll it's my business.
You're not afraid to get your hands dirty.
I'm not afraid at all, no, because ultimately I want to make sure that our clients, feel that we genuinely care and not just a number. It is a last resort if I'm going out there, but I won't see a client go without a service if, somebody calls in sick and, there's the contingency options have been worked through. It will be myself.
And sometimes as a business owner, you have to do that, don't you? You have to wear so many hats.
Absolutely,
you have to get stuck in, whether it's like on the ground doing the client's work, managing, doing the accounts, doing the recruitment, the HR. You just have to wear so many different hats.
You do.
As a business owner, do you have any goals for 2025 that you really want to push this year?
I do. Yeah. So I've set a turnover goal that I've got in mind, and that's what I am going to be pushing. I've just taken on a commercial director at the start of this year, so we're working together to really drive those sales and get the business where I want it to be. Really.
Perfect. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And sort of as a business owner, can you sort of see where the company started to sort of where it is today?
Absolutely. I've learned a lot of lessons along the way, good and bad as well. So I can see, where we come from. Business Box was actually our first client.
Oh, wow.
And they're still one of our clients these years later.
That's brilliant.
So many years later. So it's quite a good story. But yeah, we've come on leaps and bounds. Like I say, the things that don't go quite to plan in business, a lot of lessons have been learned.
Yeah.
And it's about learning from those and moving forwards, and that's what we've done.
And that's it. And by finding those issues and those problems along the way, is how you're learning, isn't it? You don't tend to learn as much if you're constantly succeeding at something. It's from the downfalls where you really learn and you really start to develop.
Yeah.
How do you best manage your time?
I guess at the start of the week, I sort of put a plan together. Whether that plan actually works or not is another thing.
Yeah.
But I'm a bit of a time blocker myself and block things out in my diary and try to get through the tasks that I've got associated to that block of time.
Yeah, definitely. I found myself, as I get more and more busy, I kind of live by my Google Calendar and that everything's sort of then blocked out by the hour, and I know exactly where I need to be at that long moment.
I feel like the problem that I have is that I probably underestimate the length of the task. So I'll probably put it in for an hour, and actually it's probably 2 or 3 hours. But I'm still learning.
It's still a learning curve.
Absolutely.
And that's a good skill to start picking up, because I've found personally that for me, that skill in particular is really big when it comes to quoting for jobs and things as well. I always end up underquoting because I don't take into consideration the time it actually takes to do things.
Yeah.
So I always end up shooting myself in my foot a little bit there as well.
Absolutely.
What obviously really busy life as a business owner, we already know that. How do you actually unwind though from a busy day of work?
Me unwinding, it has to be football. I'm a big Manchester United fan. and a season ticket holder. So there's nothing more that I like than travelling up to Manchester. Well, I say that it depends on the result, but going up to Manchester to watch the games. That's how I unwind and spend it with family and friends.
No, perfect. And I think that's important. Like, it's good to have like a good network around you, isn't it?
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
like through like business, through your family life as well, so you can unwind after those problems off the back of it. Is
Yeah.
there any like key members of your network that's really helped you in business?
I guess, some of my business coaches, some of my coaches have been giving me advice that you just can't put a price on them. That's been key. It's usually the simple stuff that they tell you that you need to do X, Y, and Z, and you think, well, why have I not done that? Why have I not thought of that? But it's the one that pushes that needle on and makes you progress.
Makes you do it. And it's almost, I guess it's almost like stuff that you probably already know.
Yeah.
Already know, but it's just kind of like, why haven't I not been doing that? Or like, why have I left this till this
Yeah.
time? Or like, you should know this. And I find that all the time with, especially myself working in marketing, it's
Yeah.
something that I know I'm out there shouting about it, telling other people to do. And then I'm like, why am I not doing that myself?
Absolutely.
Like, it's just, you always forget when it comes to your own sort of stuff as well and getting all that into
it's the
check.
classic case of like, if you're a painter and decorator, your house is never decorated nice, but all your clients have beautiful houses because you're too busy decorating their house.
Exactly. You don't want to do your own when it comes to a hard day's work.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for taking your time out, for talking to me. I think
No
that's
problem.
I've really enjoyed getting to know your industry a little bit more, and it's quite interesting. And I bet you've got tons of stories that you probably couldn't disclose all of them.
I've got hundreds of stories, good, bad, and ugly.
Definitely, especially in your industry.
Yeah.
But I hope you've enjoyed the time.
My name is Rob Neller. I'm the director of Kit365, and we are a cybersecurity managed service provider based in Leicester.
What is it that you do at Kit365?
Yeah, so we're a managed service provider, cybersecurity service provider. Predominantly, we're doing pen testing, so testing people's external, internal infrastructures. We do Cyber Essentials and Cyber Essentials Plus, which is a government scheme. And we also work with consultation for information security management systems like ISO 27001.
Brilliant. And how long have you been doing that for?
Well, I've been in IT, in and around IT for about 20 years. In terms of the business, we've been running for about 8 years, but doing what we're doing now really for about 6.
And why did you sort of decide to start this company?
I always had an ambition to work for myself, and it was just natural progression, really, and opportunities that presented themselves. So we kind of went from infrastructure and managing people's infrastructures, went to kind of be a firewall engineer, and it was just like a natural progression. And we really love what we do as well, right? So
Yeah.
that's kind of our history and how we progressed into it.
Brilliant. And what was it like first starting the business? Were you like in an office straight away, or
No.
was it sort of from the ground up?
Yeah, so to start with, I started contracting just to build a bit of money up, so I had something to rely on, and then I went and did the qualifications that I needed to become an assessor, Cyber Essentials assessor, and then put the business through becoming a certification body. Literally about 2 or 3 weeks before COVID, so it's quite nervy times
Definitely.
back then. So yeah, that's kind of where it started from. We weren't in an office to start with; we were working from home, and then as the business grew and I needed a bit more space to get away from the distractions of home, we then got our first office, which wasn't actually here; it was elsewhere. And then we moved to Business Box, and it's been great since, to be fair.
No,
really
brilliant.
good here, yeah.
So what kind of thing are you doing now? Obviously, you've built it along this journey. Where are you now compared to where you were originally?
Yeah, so 6 years ago it was just me. Now there's 2 full-time employees, and we have 4 associates or contractors that we work with. So in terms of employees, that's kind of where we were. To start with, it was a case of just doing enough work to kind of keep a roof over my head, and it's grown and it's gone from strength to strength.
Brilliant. And do you have any like real big goals for 2025 that you want to achieve?
Yeah, 2025 this year, we're going to be looking at automation and automating our workflows a little bit better. That's our main goal this year. There's also a couple of other things that we're on the cusp of achieving as well. So watch this space. But yeah, our main thing this year really is to automate processes to make things more streamlined. So as the business grows, it's easier for people to come in and hit the ground running, really.
And I think we had a little bit of a chat, didn't we, before it started, obviously, about cybersecurity being a huge space at the moment as well, and sort of on top of that AI as well. So do you have any sort of, without giving too much away, any ways that you're planning on like using AI or implementing AI in your workflows?
Yeah, so we will start looking at AI. It's not something that's particularly on the radar at the moment, but there will be advantages to using it within the business, especially when it comes to like knowledge bases and things like that. And it'll be more a case of the knowledge that we give the AI to give back out more so than anything.
Sort of like using that AI as a platform to sort of give your clients that constant communication, maybe?
Yeah, and instant responses as well. You know, at the moment, a lot of what we do is either over email or, you know, ticketing systems or over the phone. It's just giving customers that other method of getting the answers that they need relatively quickly without waiting for response times in emails or ticketing or for a phone call. I mean, as much as we love to do things over the phone, we're not always available because we've got so much going on.
Yeah, and sometimes for other businesses as well, though, especially in fast-paced industries, they don't have a time for an email or a phone call either. They need a response immediately, just as much as you guys are working on other things. So it's that having that instantaneous response, it has advantages for everybody involved, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's the world that we live in nowadays. You know, people want an answer now. Like everything that they have is at their fingertips. So yeah, absolutely, they do want that instant response. And people are so busy as well, like you say, they've not always got time to pick up the phone, write an email themselves, and you know, you have to be mindful of that.
So as a business owner, obviously wearing a lot of hats day to day, you've got to do the client work as well as managing the team and doing the accounts and all that kind of stuff. How do you keep on top of all these different tasks?
Yeah, time management. Yeah, there's a lot of time management, delegation that goes in, knowing what I need to be doing to keep the business running on a day-to-day basis. Having a good team around you as well helps with that, which is obviously something that we've built up and we pride ourselves on. Also having mentors as well, that kind of helps. You know, having someone to speak to about issues or problems, help you see a different perspective. So there's lots of things that we kind of do, or I'm doing to support me in running the business. Brilliant.
And obviously when you got that support during running the business, but how do you unwind at the end of the day after you've done all of those tasks?
Well, I'm a family man, so I don't know whether you would call it unwinding or not, but yeah, having kids to ferry around to their activities definitely helps you disconnect from work.
More of a different distraction rather than like
exactly
unwinding.
That. And you know, I go down to watch Leicester City quite a lot as well, so that's probably one of the main things that I do with friends and kids when they want to come as well.
The industry that you're in, it's a very sort of niche industry, isn't it? It's like businesses are more and more have to rely on and need something like that. So how do you sort of market your service and your products?
Marketing is something that we've only just scratching the surface with, really. A lot of what we've done is all been word of mouth, which is always great because ultimately that's come from referrals from other people that you've worked with or customers. But more so now, we are looking at doing things like this, like the podcasts and video content for social media. The way that we really want to grow it, we're not salesy, so we don't go out and push. We're happy to speak to customers and give them the pricing, and you know, we believe that we offer value for money. We're not necessarily the cheapest, but we're not necessarily the most expensive either. It's about the quality of the service for us.
There's a lot there to explore, and
Absolutely,
get into and
yeah.
get stuck into.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is, in a way, is one of the fun parts of marketing, I think, as well. You get to try different things, create content, and just see what's worked, like see how it starts to affect your business as well.
More so this year, from the start of the year, we've become a lot more in tune and more engaging with social media.
Yeah.
And again, we're just, one of the things for this year to kind of go back, what you touched on. Last year was a real year of growth for us. And it was quite painful, but that is growth, right? There's
those growing pains.
Yeah,
that
exactly
come along
that.
with it.
Pay. Through pain, you get a lot of growth.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we wanted to do this year was kind of bring the fun back into it, and that's what we're kind of finding with the social media and the marketing. Let's just have fun with this. Let's see where it goes. Cybersecurity is a very serious topic, and there's a bit of a taboo around people making a joke of it and having fun with it, but you have to make it tangible for people, and you also have to make it you have to allow people into a world that they can consume it as well, and try and understand it.
Because that's the point. That's a very good point of something really technical as well. You need people to be able to understand it in order to consume it, and relate to it as well is a big part of it.
Exactly that.
Because otherwise, if they're confused, they're going to switch off like straight away, really.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Looping back towards, obviously, yourself being a business owner, what is one piece of advice you would give to someone who is just starting a company today?
I would say follow your dreams. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, and just keep going. That's it, really. If you're passionate about what you're doing, just keep going, and it'll all work out.
Like you say, those growing pains. There's growth through pain and hardship sometimes. So you just have to keep pushing.
And you have to choose your hard, right? Like most things in life are hard, but you have to choose your hard, and that's kind of it. If you're passionate about what you're doing, it'll all just come together and flow.
Perfect. Thank you so much for jumping on.
No,
I really appreciate it. You did amazingly well as well for saying that you're a bit of a social media phobe. So no, that was really good. Thank you.
I enjoyed that.
And there we go. That was part 2 of my 2-part episode. Speaking to the 6 individuals was so much fun. It was such a great opportunity to be able to sit down with all of them and talk to them back to back. I hope you've got as much value out of these conversations as I have. Thank you so much for getting this far and listening. And if you listen to both parts, that's even better. As always, everyone's information is below in the episode description, and we'd love to take this conversation online. Connect with us on LinkedIn, drop us a message, and let's take this conversation online. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you again soon.